Welcome back to my channel. Jashana and Nessa here again for part 2 since we talked for way too effing long. And I was like, I can't subject these people to one like 45-minute video. That's just not, I say no shade to anybody who does longer videos on their channels. I just don't. You guys know most of my videos are 10 minutes around.
This bitch won't even listen to my Snapchats that I send her. Like, yeah. I'm notorious for sending
she
like 12
sends the longest ass Snapchat fucking messages.
It's just like, I'm like, just turn it on and set it down.
No, because I'm like at work or something and like.
So watch it while you're driving home. Like, she just like.
I don't wanna. And that's why I prefer Voxer messages too. Because I can speed it up.
Whatever.
And speed through her slow ass talking. My God. I love you though.
I hate you.
I love you. I'm like petting you. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't want to subject you guys to a super long video. So here is part 2. We're going to jump into whatever the hell else I don't know where I'm going to break it up.
Yeah. All right, question
Okay, so
3.
going on to the Instagram ones. One of them was from Fernando, and he just said, the history of Pusheen.
God.
My little Pusheen, which I don't know.
I'm not answering any of, I don't know shit about Pusheen. Like, I watched one of her videos, and she's like, so I would give this one 3 Pusheens.
Pusheen corns.
Pusheen corns. And I messaged her, I'm like, what the fuck is a Pusheen corn? Like, Pusheen corn. And she's like, it's the little...
Yeah, it's the little guy. I don't know the history of Pusheen, other than someone designed it. I don't even know the artist's name, but they have a whole website, pusheen.com. I'll link it down below. You can buy stuff. You can buy stuff. They have a shop. But I first saw it on Facebook. It was like Facebook stickers, like when you were in Messenger, and that's where I first like learned about Pusheen, and then I had Pusheen calendar a couple years. And yeah, that's all I know about that.
Now she has a whole Pusheen, what are these called?
Funko Pops. She didn't know what Funko Pops were, you guys. Did not. She was like, what is that?
It took me a while to like
I just show her on Amazon, like the Friends ones, because she likes Friends.
It took me a while to understand.
It's just a little collectible.
Behind it all.
There's not a reason. It's just bullshit to collect. Innocuous Bookworm on Instagram just asked for advice on romantic relationships. I mean, we kind of talked about like the dating part. Romantic relationships.
Just love yourself. Honestly, I have really grown into this the last like, I guess I would say like 6 to 7 months. I've really become a different person. She helped catapult my change between like the ages of like 24 and 26. But then the last, what month are we in? May?
It's
the last 5-6 months, I've been going to therapy just to help, you know, be better. And, I would say before I was always so scared of like abandonment. If they leave, what does this mean about me?
Doesn't mean shit about
it doesn't mean shit. And then what else? And then just like speaking up, because I hated confrontation. So if they did something that I didn't like, sometimes I would just let things go because I was like, it's not really a big deal. But then it would continue to happen, and if someone would come at me with like something they didn't like that I did, I'm like, you know what? Actually, I got shit to say too. But
I have receipts from the last 6 months.
But that's not how you should handle it. Don't do that. You need to just, the moment something happens, like call someone out. And the last guy I dated, I would say what I wanted to say, and he was very pushy with like his agenda. And I was just like, you're not listening to what I'm saying. My voice is not being heard. I'm done with this. Make sure the person respects you and allows you to just do what you fucking want to do.
Yeah. I would say for me, so we're, again, very, very different. Very different. She didn't have a significant, like a boyfriend, really, for many, many years. It was a while. I had my first boyfriend when I was 13. And also that was a cultural thing, because again, when she was younger, she wasn't like allowed to.
We literally, my cousins and I had to talk about boys as if it was a she, like in front of our parents. Like we'd be like, "Oh, did you see her today?" Like so stupid.
Meanwhile, my little 13-year-old self was bringing my boyfriend over. And all my uncles were like teasing me about him. Oh, you got a little boyfriend? Like very different.
Very different life.
And I've just always had a boyfriend. I've always been in relationships.
I've always been single.
Yeah, and I've had people like, I don't know how to say judge me, but like criticize me about it, being like, you just need to be okay with being on your own. I'm fucking cool being on my own. Like, I really genuinely am. Like, it's not just like something I say. I really am super cool. Even when I'm in relationships, I spend a lot of time by myself. Like, really.
Look over there.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to go like read and shit. Please leave me alone. And, like, there's been time, probably in my adult life, I've been actually single for 9 months total. Like, between the different times.
That's, like, more time
That's
than
not
I've had
a lot.
relationship.
Yeah, I know. I haven't been single a lot, but it's really just because I am just like a fucking hopeless romantic. I really am. And I have a lot of love and attention to give. I'm very expressive, and I just want to, like, fucking tell somebody all the time, like, how great they are and blah, blah, blah. And I want that in return, and I expect that in return.
She does. And she will let you know.
Yes, I'll be like, sir, I require a fair amount of attention. But I also, part of that is my downfall is that I jump in, which I'm glad I do. Like, I jump in fearlessly, like, I like you, let's date. And, I mean, I've been divorced. I would call it a traumatic breakup experience, right?
Yeah, okay. I would say so.
It was good times. And I've had other breakups that, were kind of difficult or whatever, and I've had experiences and whatever. But I'm still not, like, afraid of getting into a relationship, and I'm glad for that, but my dumb little hopeless romantic brain heart makes me ignore red flags sometimes. And I'm getting better at it. Like, this last relationship, I kind of ignored the red flags for a minute, but then, like, something happened and I was like, all right, nope, I'm out. Like, when in my previous relationship, I just kept on going and going and going. Yes. So I'm learning. That's good.
She ignores the red flags. I am queen of that.
She, like, makes them up.
That is not true. No, that's not true.
No, I'm kidding. She doesn't make them up.
But
she, like, jumps right in.
Yeah, I'm like, red flag, red flag. Oh, you saw him do that, red flag.
Yeah.
So, and then just going off of what you said as far as people judging you for always being in a relationship. Yeah. I can't tell you how many comments I have heard because I'm always single, and people just telling me, like, well, you should be in one, and, like, I'll be 32 in July, and it sounds so, like, what? But my total months of having relationships is 4 months total out of my almost 32 years. So when I say I'm always single, I'm literally
She's legit always single.
I date, but it's never anything serious.
Yeah.
So, like I said, complete opposite situations. But I tell people all the time, too, I'm like, a lot of relationships you see are unhealthy, or people are there out of comfort, which, again, is unhealthy.
Yeah. So, just, like, settling for,
right, they're
like,
just settling
you're good
because the world tells you need to be in a relationship, and your life is supposed to go X, Y, Z, and so people just think, well, this is what I'm supposed to do, and you're good enough, I'll be in this, And I tell people I'm not going to settle. Like, I've gone this long being single, and I want a relationship where we choose each other every single day. It's not going to be perfect all the time, of course, but I want a relationship where it's like, I choose to be here, and so I'm going to make an effort.
Yeah.
And, the same way I do that for them, they'll do that for me, and so when people say that shit to me, I'm always like, at this point, I'm like, don't even, like, I know what I'm doing. I don't need your input.
That's how I feel when people tell me, like, you need to be single for X amount of time to get to know yourself. I'm like, bitch, I know myself very well. Like, I'm a very self-aware person, very introspective, and I'm cool with myself. Like,
she is.
I'm super chill with who I am. I love who I am. Mm-hmm. I probably love myself too much, maybe. I'm like, no, I'm, like, really fucking awesome, actually. Like, you should just worship the ground I walk on. No, I'm kidding.
We're
mostly. Yeah, we are. I'm joking, like, kind of.
But, like, we're not joking, but we're all, like, we mean it as in we know we're cool chicks, and we're not like, oh, you better treat me a certain way.
No, because I want to feel that way about the person I'm with, too. Yeah. Like, I want to, like, basically, like, worship the ground you walk on, as you should worship the ground I walk on. Most days.
You're just really fucking cool.
Yeah, and... Yeah. But yeah, I've had people, like, I don't need to be alone to get to know myself. Like, I know myself, and I don't know. I feel, like, at peace within myself, and I've felt that way for many, many, many years. I feel like moving across country, like, by myself and not really knowing anybody, like, I knew her vaguely. Like, we had met a few times in our life before.
We were very young, though.
Yeah, and it was, like, we were Facebook friends, but, like, we didn't, like, talk.
We didn't know each other,
yeah.
Really.
And we happened to actually like each other, and so we moved in together and became, like, best friends and whatever. But yeah, but I feel like that was like a big moment of growth in my life. Just, I don't know, getting out of your comfort zone every now and then, and I got to know myself even better. But even before then, like, I don't know, I just like being in fucking relationships. Get off my back. Like, that's how I feel about it. Like, I'm cool. You don't need to worry about me. Worry about your damn self. But with romantic relationships, I think my mom and I were talking about this recently, because, I see friends in relationships, and I've been in relationships where I've tolerated things I shouldn't tolerate. And my not most recent one, but the most recent really long one is the perfect example of a person that's not like a terrible person, and a person who could be great in a relationship. And maybe to someone else now or then he would be great, right? But with me, it was not working. We were not working for each other, and I tolerated things for way too long. And so many times I was told by this person, and I've been told this by many men, when we're going through bullshit because of their behavior and how it's affecting me, they tell me, we need to work through this. We need to work through our problems because we need to build a strong foundation of our relationship. I want to ride or die. I want someone who's going to be there through anything, and we're going to come out and be happier and blah, blah, blah. Look at Jay-Z and Beyonce, like that type of shit. And I'm like, okay, I have an issue with this though when I'm getting shit on constantly and I'm supposed to just take it from you. And your issue with me is basically that you're annoyed that I'm calling you out on things. What?
I feel like that rider, and this isn't like a blanket statement, but a lot of times that when you guys use that ride or die statement, it's like they just want you to be okay with them treating you however the fuck they want to treat you, and you just take it. You're just like, this is cool, great, thanks for disrespecting me, I love it.
And then when I'm ready to stop treating you like shit, you're still there, and now, oh, look at our great relationship. Like, what? No. And my mom and I were talking about this, and I was like, I have some, people I know who are married, and some of them are happy, and some of them are very clearly unhappy and have very serious issues in their marriage that I know about. And they have the whole, well, I married them, and, I made those vows for better, for worse. And my mom was like, people think for better, for worse means getting the worst of that person and tolerating it. That's not what it means. It means life is throwing shit at you. Somebody loses a job. Somebody gets sick. You have kids, and it's difficult raising children. Learning to parent together.
That is so good.
Someone else in your family gets sick and you have to deal with that. Financial struggles, stress from other things in life. Yes, you're going to piss each other off from time to time. You're going to hurt each other from time to time. But the big issue that you're going through it together, the for better or for worse, the worse, should not be that this person is just shitting all over you consistently and making you feel crappy consistently. That's not what that means. You don't have to tolerate that. You can leave that person and it's okay. And I was like, yes. That I've heard that so many times from people that are like, well, for better, for worse. I'm like, no, they're causing you emotional stress and turmoil on a regular basis. That's not what that fucking means. No. And you
one
need to
thing
realize
I'm
that.
reminded of when I remember in middle school, a PE teacher, anytime he called someone out and they said sorry, every time he responded with, don't say sorry, just don't do it again. And that was like one of the first times in middle school, how old are you, like 14 years old, that I had ever heard something of that nature. I had never heard something of that, like, oh, just change your behavior and it'll be okay.
This will stop.
And
being a thing.
That's kind of how I look at things of like, and then also nowadays I see this meme on Instagram and it says, an apology without change behavior is just manipulation.
Yes.
And so true.
Like, someone can do something, like we said, no one's going to be perfect.
Right.
Especially if you're going to have a marriage or long-term
communication too, though, because if you're not communicating with them about the fact that it's what's upsetting you and that you are
can't
upset,
expect them to change.
They can't read your mind.
Yeah, but if something does happen and you express that to them, that's fine. Of course, the first time someone hurts you don't need to be like, bye, I'm leaving. No. Like, settle down. That's not how you build a relationship. But if they keep doing it time and time again, recognize the patterns.
Yes, patterns.
I feel like that, recognize a pattern and recognize a cycle and know when it's time to break that fucking cycle.
And don't feel like you're ever too far in deep where it's like, well, what am I going to do?
You'll be fine.
There are so many fucking stories where it's like, I met a woman when I was in college. She was in my math class, grown-ass woman. And she was like, I married this really rich man. Like, we actually had private jets. And I was at a community college, too, so it wasn't, like, the university either. This is when I was at community college. And she's like, we literally had private jets. He took, like, we had everything. She's like, but I didn't even know how to write a check. Like, the man took care of every little bit of her life. And when they got divorced, she was scared shitless. But she was happy because he didn't treat her well. And she took it upon herself, like, I'm going to rebuild myself. You know, she went back to school, and I'm sure she did fine. And I think she was probably, like, in her 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll always be
like,
fine.
You'll figure, like, just go online and read these. Like, there's so many people that rebuild themselves over time. It's crazy. It's beautiful.
I mean, and I know the feeling, like, I have been in various long-term relationships. I was married before. And getting out of those relationships, like, is it scary? Yes, of course. It's the unknown. And especially if you've been with this person for years and years. I was with my ex-husband for 6.5 years. I was with this other ex for 5.5 years. I've known you for the better part of a decade now, and I've been in a relationship with you for the better part of a decade. So you're my life. So the idea of you not being in my life anymore is kind of, like, jarring. And it's like, well, what the fuck does life look like without you? I don't remember. And it sounds terrifying. And especially, like, my ex here, like, I moved out here and I had her, and then I dated some other guy, like, for a little while, and then I met him about a year after I moved, and then I was with him. So I only was here for a year without him. And so pretty much everybody I fucking knew out here was through him. So that was another thing of, like, who am I? Like, I'm not gonna have a social life. Like, I'm not gonna have fucking friends. But we talked about that earlier. But I have to remind myself, bitch, you've done it before.
Yes.
You'll be fine. It'll be okay. It'll suck for a little bit. It'll be weird for a little bit. But you'll get the fuck over it. And eventually you'll meet somebody else. And you'll do this all over again. Hopefully, eventually, finding someone where that breakup part stops. And you don't have the breakup. Yeah, that's the goal. But it's like my favorite quote, even the darkest hour has only 60 minutes. Like, it's going to suck for a minute. You'll be fucking fine, though. There have been people who've gone through much more difficult breakups than I have and that you have. Like, there are people who are legit kind of trapped and in abusive relationships or whatever and have to get the police involved and, like, legal teams involved.
And, like, hide their location.
The people have to get out of that. So I can certainly just break up with a dude and, like, stop hanging out with him. Like, it sucks, but you can do it.
Just remember, you deserve the best.
Yes. Exactly.
I have gotten to this new point in my life where I'm like, and I try to tell other people this, but you can only see what you want to see or how far you can see. Picture your life as a movie, and, like, whatever, like, there's no budget. Like, as far as your mind can go, picture your life as a movie.
And what do you want?
What does that look like? And then real life, whatever is, like, only accept it for what comes into your life if it leads towards that movie.
Okay, the next one I think is kind of quick. We don't need to, like, get into it because it's not really advice. It's just a question from Noise Boy GTS 550. I don't know who you are, but hi. Does good exist in the world? I mean, yes.
I think so.
Okay, from Eaglethren on Instagram. Can you give advice about looking for a job that fulfills you? For me, for this, like, I mean, I'll be real with you. I work in customer service. I'm a training manager, and I teach people how to talk to customers. I've done customer service jobs most of my life. Is customer service always the most fulfilling thing in and of itself? No, absolutely not. You have to deal with people's bullshit and stupidity on a regular basis. And, you know, working for a call center, like, we're just getting all the complaints and the problems and whatever. It's very rare when we have someone just be like, just wanted to reach out to tell you guys you're awesome. Whenever we do, we're like, thank you so much, oh my God. But usually it's people with problems, and that's our job, is to help fix their problems and help make them not so frustrated. And, like, yeah, sometimes it's, like, mundane and it's the same shit over and over again, right? But I think the key thing is, if you can't get a job that, like, the thing you're doing fulfills your soul, get a job where the people around you fulfill you. I'm not joking when I say that, like, my job is my second home. I genuinely enjoy going to work because of the people that I work with. My 2 employees that I have, love them. Consider, like, the one that's been my employee for longer, he's like a friend of mine. He's like my little brother. And my boss is like my big brother. And my coworkers are like my sisters. And I mean, like, you saw us interacting together. Like, we have a good ass time together. We do. Like, we joke around, and I like going there.
Yeah.
So find something where if you don't always feel fulfilled by, like, the thing you're doing, you at least enjoy the people around you. Like, if my personal life is in shambles, I genuinely am like, at least I get to go to work, and I will smile and I will laugh. Every single day at work, I laugh at least once, if not multiple times throughout the day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and I love it.
Yeah. I would have to say, so I have not done that. I want to, though, and I hopefully will be making a change in the near future, but I've always kind of gone towards what was the right decision, and kind of just went with the flow as far as where life took me. I do recall when I was younger interviewing for a job within the field that is my passion and that I love, and I turned it down because of how much they wanted to pay me. And don't do that.
Don't be opposed to, like, working your way up.
Yeah, it's so important to don't be afraid to start from the bottom. Just know that you're going to have to put in the work in, because if you're not willing to put in the work in, then you're not going to move up and get into like the
what
shit
you really want.
You really want to do. Yeah. And as far as working with people that you love, it's so important. I worked at a bank at one point, had an extremely toxic boss. And life every day was like hell. And I also, at that time in my life, I was much younger. I would say, loyal to a fault, and I didn't enjoy any sort of confrontation. So she literally would do drugs at work. It was bad. And she didn't do any work. The assistant manager did all the work. But I didn't do what I should have done as far as calling her out or reporting her to upper management or, leaving. Like, I didn't do any of that. Now, today, if that happens, it would be a completely different situation. But I just didn't have my voice at that age, and I was also terrified of change. Like, I didn't know, until someone changed it for me, I wouldn't have made the change myself.
Last question or thing for advice.
You can't even fucking answer.
What? Why?
Bitch, please.
Anyway, it's from Jamie. Jamie reads. And it's just advice on skincare. Why can't I say anything?
Because you are genetically fucking blessed. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, I am genetically blessed, but also at the age of 13, I started using daily moisturizer with SPF at least 15, if not 20, and I've been doing that my whole entire life, and I'm sure that plays a part as well. My skin would not be as good if I didn't take care of it. You have to still take care of it. You still have to take care of your skin, even if you are genetically blessed, which I know I am.
I do think that, because the sun does make a huge difference. Seriously, wear SPF every single day.
Yes.
Yes. I do think that, did make a difference, but I also just believe that you just are fucking genetically blessed.
Yes, I know.
This bitch, I hate her for it.
Listen,
I'm happy that she has it, because I did not, or I do not. So I grew up with very problematic skin. I can answer this question because I've had a journey. Number one, when I went through puberty, just broke the fuck out, and I have acne scars that I haven't done anything to really fix those, so that I can't really answer too much on. I have heard of microneedling being amazing. I haven't done that yet, but look into it if you're interested. It's just literally like needles. They run over your skin, and then it helps reproduce your collagen.
That sounds terrible.
No, well, they do a numbing cream.
And painful as
No, they do.
So then you just have, like, scratches all over your face for a while?
It's just, like I
scarring?
guess, like, one day. It doesn't go too deep, but it just kind of deep enough to get the collagen to... And I heard you need to do it, like, 6 times, probably, over, and you need rest time.
I feel like that sounds aggressive.
Yeah, well, when you don't have to do it, it does. But when you have to do it, you're like, I'll take it.
Anyway.
And then my second or biggest issue is I have rosacea. What I learned most on that is using more natural products really helped me. I remember when I was in my early 20s using like the Neutrogena wipes, and I was fucking like a tomato after using shit like that. And now I use I don't even use wipes anymore. I use like those like microfiber towels. I'll use like a makeup remover that's for sensitive skin, and then I use the microfiber towels. Just try to bring down how many chemicals you're using, because when your skin's sensitive, it's going to react to everything.
I would say that even for me, like, I notice a huge difference if I'm using, like, a few months back, I was using, like, you know, normal cleansers and shit that have shit in them, chemicals and whatever. But I definitely notice a difference since I started using my oil. I showed you guys in the Get Ready With Me video, I made like my own little night serum oil, and I don't like usually wash my, like, honestly, usually I just use warm water and like rinse my face and then makeup remover to like get my mascara off, because I don't typically wear like a lot of makeup, but if I do have like powder all over my face or a little more makeup, I've been using Cetaphil, which I've heard good things about, so that's why I tried it, and it's just a foaming face wash and then the eye makeup remover. And then I'll put my night serum on and let it sit for a little bit and then kind of dab it off because it's like real thick, oily. And I've noticed that I've had almost no breakouts since doing that. And if I do start to get like a little irritation or it seems like I'm going to break out, I've been using this aloe moisturizer. It's like light aloe moisturizer. And then I have lactic acid from The Ordinary that my sister turned me on to. My sister is all about skincare. Go follow her at Cast Glow.
Because I don't even know her. I've never met her, but I follow her and I love following her.
Yeah, she's the best, and she's adorable.
She's beautiful too.
Yeah,
so you should go follow her.
She's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I'm just like, God, this bitch, like, she's so pretty.
And then she's like really learning herself, and so she's really sharing her knowledge.
Yeah.
It's really it's fun.
She does like trials of stuff, and she'll say like, this worked or that didn't work, or I like this or I like that, and like she's really informative. So follow her. I'll link her down below. Cast Glow though is her Instagram. She's great. But yeah, so she turned me on to this lactic acid, and especially when you first use it, you have to mix it with something, otherwise it's a little harsh on your skin and you might react. But it's basically like a surface level, like, I think it's like a peel almost, is like, what technically. Lactic acid. Yeah. And I'll just dab that on like my problem areas, and then nothing happens, and I don't like. I'll feel it like coming, and then I'll do that, and it'll like go away. So,
two things. Back to the SPF. Once I started using that every day, my rosacea got like 10 times better. Second thing I've learned is when I was younger, I don't have the problem now because I fucking figured it out, but when I was younger, I would get ready and within like an hour, I would be oily and just like shine like a freaking disco diamond ball that Rihanna sings about. Like, I was just like within an hour, and I was like, I don't understand. I'm oily. And then I found out that I'm actually super dry and dehydrated skin, which is my skin. Because I'm so dry and dehydrated, my skin was overproducing oil. Yeah. And I didn't know that. So I was always thinking that I had oily skin, so I was using things to further dry out my skin, which caused it for it to be worse. But you always need to make sure your skin is hydrated. That's the biggest thing, because also dryness ages you too.
Well, cool. That's the last one.
Like 2 hours later. Sorry, guys.
I mean, I'll edit it down a little bit. I might need to break it up into two though.
Parts.
Okay.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Thanks.
I've enjoyed this. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Wait, are you ready? Oh my God, stop. All right, we are actually done now with the whole thing. Part 2 is over as well. Thank you for bearing with us. And again,
all the chatter.
Yes, again, hopefully it was, if not informative and helpful, at least entertaining.
Funny?
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, hopefully. Yes, funny. Hopefully it was funny.
Hopefully you like us. Because we really like
They're here because they like me, obviously.
Bitch. Okay, now you're going to like me.
No, yeah, everyone will love you. They'll probably be like, you should have her back. They'll probably like you more than me, honestly. No. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate your time. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And we will talk to you later.
Wait.
Stop! What are you doing?
I need to tell them to like and subscribe.
Oh, okay, all right.
And you know the drill. If you like the video, like. And then if you... Hold on, I need to do it over again. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I really enjoyed this. Maybe next time I'm in Arizona, or you come to San Diego, if that fucking ever happens, because this bitch doesn't come.
I'm going for your birthday.
Okay, yeah, we'll do another one on my birthday.
Okay.
Great. And then if you liked it, give us a like so that I can be like, ooh, your video with me had the most likes. And then if you like it, give her a subscribe because she's awesome.
Thank you so much, Nessa. All right, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.